And here we go, guys. We are live. Welcome to another Geek Out Live with me, Ed. And today, my guest is Yon from Rumskip. How are you doing today, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you, Ed?
I'm super excited. I mean, it's been almost a year since we've talked to each other, which I was like, dude, I miss my buddy over in Norway. I actually miss all my buddies, like Anders, Justine, like everybody over at the convention during the last Norwegian Toy Con. I hear there's a new one going on this year.
That's
Do
right.
you know the dates?
It's probably like 22nd, June 22nd.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
I can't make it this year, but I mean, like it's gonna be awesome once again. You're gonna be set up and stuff, so it's gonna be great. I want to thank everybody that's tuning in the live chat. Definitely let us know, guys, where you're tuning in from. Are you coming in from Norway, or are you tuning in from Belgium or from Canada, US, or stuff? Here's Harlan. Hey, buddy, how are you doing? Um, and also thanks to everybody that's watching this later. I will try cutting it up into chapters. So if you're looking for something, check out the description below. And I will also have a link to Jan's latest video. You did a video about the story you run, Rumskip, which
yeah,
means spaceship, right?
yeah. It's Norwegian for spaceship. I would probably pronounce it Romskip.
Okay, yeah. My Norwegian isn't that great.
It's not bad.
Okay. But yeah, you walked around in the shop. You showed some cool, awesome bits. I
Yeah.
saw a ton of Euro exclusive stuff, Tiger Force, and all of those things. What was most excited to show in the video?
Well, I have to admit, I like glanced past the news van. I have a news van in the
Okay.
shop, and I like pretended I didn't see it, but I know people saw it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like you mentioned, I have a lot of European GI Joe figures. I'm really into GI Joe, and that's my like main toy line.
Oh really?
And
Yeah,
I know a lot of Americans are coming in here in the chat.
yeah.
Louisiana, Missouri, um,
Go, hey
Harlan.
Jack.
In 2009, I visited Missouri at
Yeah.
the GI Joe convention in Kansas City. It
Oh cool.
was a great experience, and Missouri was a lovely place.
Yeah, man. Cool. Here we go. Belgium sitting in the class. Awesome, Ben. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, Jack. This is a live interview. We're doing it right now. Um, yeah. I just want to know, you and like, what are you working on right now? You just released a video, but you also have the shop going on. What's on the table now? What are your to dos to unfold your
Well,
retro
yeah,
goodness?
it's like a three-parter.
Okay.
So first of all, I'm always collecting, always picking up
Mhm.
stuff. Like got stuff in from my own collection yesterday. Some really cool items. My shop steadily growing. Trying out this YouTube thing. Mainly just showing off my toy store and like uh, getting. You mentioned it before we started, like documenting the stuff I have at
Yeah.
a certain moment. And finally, we have this Norwegian ToyCon we're planning in this year's convention. Sadly, we won't have you as a guest. You visited us last year, and it was a fantastic experience having you over.
Yeah, man, it was amazing. It was crazy, like getting welcomed into like such a tight knit toy community. Like everybody knew each other. Even some guys drove up from Sweden and stuff like that. So it was pretty epic.
Yeah,
Um,
I,
because they're
I have
more,
a. Yeah, I,
yeah,
I got a question here. Show the new items from yesterday. So this one, can I do it? Ed?
yeah, sure. The new item from yesterday. Yeah, let's do it.
So this one I bought like a few months ago, but I just got it in
Okay,
yesterday,
uh
and
here we go. Ooh, that's nice. Wow. Is that did that just come out the box? I mean, there's almost no like
yeah,
blemishes.
it has a really great bubble. Some like denting on the top
Okay.
left corner probably. But the main thing about this is it has a really clear bubble and it has a Norwegian price tag.
Oh, that's
So
cool, man.
and you know, a screech isn't all that special, but for me it is because I got a screech when I was a kid, and I have
Okay.
a photo of me getting it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I even have a screech somewhere behind here.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
man.
so that was special, and getting it out. I kind of wanted to have it in a acrylic case. So if anyone knows a good acrylic case for the birds, let me know.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, reach out like if you know where we can get some of that stuff. I know like um was it called UK Graders or something like that that used to do it? Like a buddy of mine had like a lot of custom fit acrylic cases done by a company in the UK. So I'll check out with Alec if he still knows what that is,
Sure.
and I'll get back to
I
you.
also have a guy in Sweden who I know
Okay,
makes custom cases. So there are people who does it.
sweet, sweet. What's his name? Or
Can't remember.
can't
I have
remember.
to scroll down my logs, search
Oh,
for
dude.
yeah.
Oh, we got people
Yeah,
in New Mexico.
GW. I've used him a few times, but he has only like standard shapes.
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Here we go.
Interesting bootlegs, man. Oh man, yeah,
Here we go. One
yeah.
man toy show is trying to figure out where to fit his Motu Origins Eternia. It's big, right? Like, isn't the box even bigger than like the Eternia
It's at
itself?
least different size. It's
Yeah.
a bit taller. I know.
Here we go. Anders, from Norway, checking in. More people from Norway. Sundefjord.
For my buddy.
Let's take up one more question, Jack. He's asking if you got any cool bootlegs or knockoffs in the shelf behind you.
Probably not in the shelf behind me, but I have to I have toys in my entire house,
Yeah.
and I really like off-brand and KOs, and one of my like guilty pleasures is the robots from. Have you heard about what's they called? Imperial toys.
Yeah.
And
Imperial
they
S.
made like rubber band Motu style robots
Okay.
with like pink guns and stuff. I have a few of those in my living room.
Oh, I should check that out
They're
because
worth checking out. You can probably find them cheap. So
yeah. Let's not talk about them too much right now.
yeah.
Oh man, awesome. Well, I've been busy. I haven't been uploading decently, but I'm working on a new toy history. Um, it's hard to dig out even more banned toys now since I've done so many. And actually, yesterday I got this thing. So the Max Effects Freddy. Um, so this thing got banned along the way, just because like protest groups were like, you can't have Freddy like sold to kids because it says like 6+ on it. Even like, yeah, that's not gonna work. But what sucks is that we could have had like a Dracula, Frankenstein, and a Xenomorph as
Oh,
well in this
Dracula is
line.
great.
Yeah, but this was the first thing they put out by Matchbox, and super awesome. Maddie finally let go of this, so I'm like, yes,
Because
finally.
you haven't known about that for a while.
Oh yeah. It was in one of like the first or the second band toy history I did. So I'm working on a new one. Hopefully next week that will be out. Yesterday we recorded interviews for some toy hunts. We did a toy hunt over in the Netherlands, and then a toy show we did in Belgium. And other than that, this week has been pretty filled up with my band Rotsack releasing a new song. So we released Blind Vultures into the world. We actually got some airplay um, in um, in Belgium. So I'll pop it in the chat over here. Um, if you're into it, you can go check it out. But yeah, leave a comment on it if you like it. And that's like kind of like my thing I wanted to get out there, that we finally have a new song out. And yeah, we played a show. It was pretty cool. And next week we're playing my hometown, and it's actually sold out. So that's pretty awesome. If you're into stuff like Refused or Every Time I Die, it might be up your alley. So go and check it out. And now back to the Geek Out Live, because you and I kind of want to know, like, what were the toys that you grew up with back in the day?
Well, we had access to the main toy lines, like GI Joe, He-Man, lots of He-Man, and Transformers, and eventually also Turtles. We also had a few like the lesser ones like Thundercats and Mask, Dino
Okay.
Riders. So we had a good selection, but you know I kind of went for GI Joe. I had like 15 He-Man figures,
Yeah.
a couple of Transformers, but I went for GI Joe because the price points. You
Yeah.
got so
Okay.
much more value for your money.
Yeah.
So that was my main toy line, the one I grew up with.
And did you have
Um,
like a sizable collection as a kid then?
yeah, I had a great collection, 100 figures or
A
so.
hundred figures,
Yeah.
dude. What?
And I told myself I wasn't spoiled back then, but when I look back at it, probably.
What were
And
like
then
your
lots of those
favorites
have
in there?
what?
What were like your favorites in there as a kid?
Um, Probably like the 1987 guys. So much great figures from that year,
Yeah.
and a few of those are still here in my home on display. Like my original Thunderclap from '89. Do you know that?
No, I'd have to see him. Like, I'm not so educated on G.I.
It's not a
Joe,
figure. It's
unfortunately.
a play set.
Okay, see,
It,
that's where I already went wrong.
but
The Thunderclap.
those in
Okay.
the chat who knows
Mhm.
GI Joe, the 1989 Thunderclap, just a massive toy, and it's like a giant cannon, and it has two like tractors, and one in the front and one in the back
Okay,
to
yeah, yeah,
move this cannon.
yeah.
And I
I
strongly
loved
recommend
how like G.I. Joe would have these big giant vehicles, but like from just looking at it, you'd go like, this could actually work. It wasn't like too futuristic or like fictitious. It was like, oh, this is actually how it would work, and how it, like, technically it could actually be produced or stuff.
the one I'm talking about was straight up inspired by one of the German cannons from the World War
Okay. Yeah.
on a train. And initially, they had planned on having it on a train set,
Okay.
Hasbro, but
Yeah.
they changed it to like they had planned an entire train set with this giant cannon, and they made it into I got the clap.
That was something else. Okay.
Yeah, that was something else.
Dude, Jeff, I got the clap in 87. Oh, wait, that was something else. Uh, um, oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. I also really like the futuristic stuff, but like my G.I. Joe was kind of like early 90s, so like the Ninja Force and all the weird colorful ones. Um, and I'm more into like the Cobra stuff, like the Nautolicus, or what is it called? Like the bug thing, um, the big bug vehicle. Um,
Oh, that one.
yeah, that one, that guy. Yeah, you have it too.
Bug.
Is it just called Bug?
Yeah, it's just a bug. It
Okay,
probably stands for something, but yeah.
sweet. So you were like really into G.I. Joe. Did you also have like lanterns and other things that?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was like difficult for me because I got into GI Joe in '89.
Hmm.
I started reading the comics in '88, and I picked up my first toys in '89, and that was like just a year too late. So I felt I got into it just a bit too
Yeah.
late, and when they phased out the real GI Joes in like '92, I still
Yeah.
wanted to buy, and I had to like make do with the core.
Oh yeah, yeah. I get that. I had like a similar experience, but even like later on, where I was, into TMNT, and I would get Thundercats and He-Man as hand-me-downs and stuff. And like through someone we know, I got to play with some G.I. Joe stuff, but it wasn't like at stores anymore. Like I remember getting a few during the years, but later when I really started to appreciate all like the articulation that went into the little guys and how detailed the vehicles were, they weren't on in shops anymore. You could get the core, um, but I was actually like sourcing GI Joes from like friends in school. Like, did you have some? And there was like this one kid called Jan, and he had the big Defiant,
Oh, wow.
and he was like, "Yeah, you can have it.
No.
I don't play with it anymore." But yeah, like I didn't like really see it through, so it never got to me. But like a couple kids, like they just gave stuff away, and then I had like something like 30 like GI Joes, all like beat up from already being played with, but I really liked it. I remember like late 90s visiting Norway with my aunt and like making like pictures of my GI Joes at like a fjord, on like those little rock settings. So they'd be like rock climbing with like a Kodak
Yeah.
little thing, like a flash camera and stuff. And that's like my memories of like GI Joe. So
Sounds
yeah.
great. I mean, y- I see you've begun to picking up a few more Joes like lately.
Yeah. Like I've always been into it, but I guess like the same way nostalgia hit for TMNT, I was into TMNT like very early 90s, and then later I started to appreciate Joe's. And I guess now being 15 years into this journey of collecting, it's now dawning on me like I have some like nostalgic feelings about GI Joe's as well. So I guess it just comes down to that. I already had like a ton of it because in Belgium, I don't know how it is in Norway, but there's just a ton of GI Joes. If you find them at a flea market, it's usually like 30 or 50 figures with some vehicles, and it's like a childhood collection you usually buy, and that's what I go for because I want to buy like a lot of them. And yeah, just like army built the weirdest ones. I don't know if you saw my room tour video, but I have like these weird army builders. um Other than that, were there maybe any toys that you didn't have as a kid that you wanted? Perhaps they were too expensive, or your parents were like, "No, you can't have this satanic toy" or anything like
Yeah.
that, or
No,
which toys got away?
yeah, my parents probably would have gotten me anything if they could afford it, but it was expensive in the 80s.
Yeah,
I wanted Transformers. Um, I had a few and I wanted more, but they were just too expensive for me to kind of build up a collection. And for the price of one Headmaster, for instance, I could get 4 Joes.
yeah, uh-huh.
So I was always wanted more Transformers, but I played with them at friends. Uh, and there were a few toy lines which I really wanted because I saw adverts on the back of the comics
Okay,
for Starcom and Bionic 6,
yeah,
and both those toy lines felt like a mystery to me because I couldn't find them in the stores.
yeah. But now you've actually completed the Bionic 6 toy line,
Yeah,
right?
I have a really good collection of Starcom as well. So
Oh, sweet.
those two toy lines I've like made an effort to collect.
They're like the ones that got away. I have a
Yeah.
similar thing with like finding Thundercats comics and seeing like the middle page. It was like all the toys.
Yeah.
All like I maybe had one Thundercats toy, or like, and that always dawned on me like these look so cool. And because you read the story, you kind of like wanted to replicate that adventure with like action figures.
Mm.
So that was always going on for me as well. But none of the stuff that was out on toy store shelves was like taboo for your parents or anything.
No.
No, no
Pro-
Tamagotchi or Tamagotchi stuff that was like, no, that's
That came later. That came when I
okay.
was in like a teenager,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
the one moment in my life when I was too cool for toys.
Yeah. um what I remember from going to Norway last time was maybe it was just the guys I met, but it seemed like when He-Man and Master of the Universe came over to Norway, it was all anybody had or talked about. Is it that super popular there as I perceived it, or
Among the collectors, probably it's
okay,
the big one.
yeah,
And I'm not sure if it made any like cultural impact, but you met the guy, the author we had, who
yeah,
wrote an entire novel about when He-Man came to Norway,
yeah,
and that novel is now being made into a TV show
really,
by
okay,
the
wow,
by the national broadcaster. So you know, they,
yeah,
I believe it's a cultural phenomenon here in Norway, more so than, for instance, Transformers and GI Joe.
hmm
Even though
like,
we had both those toy lines, like really a good selection of them.
mhm.
I'm not sure what it is. He-Man just worked for us.
Do you feel like a lot of He-Man comes in and goes out of the shop compared to other toy lines, or is it kind of like more the same?
Mm, uh, on a regular opening, I probably sell just as much Turtles and Transformers and G.I. Joe as He-Man. So those four toy lines are definitely the big ones here.
Mhm. Okay, cool. Would you say that toy collecting started for you as a kid, or was it a little bit later on that you started collecting toys?
I probably saw myself as a collector even as a kid, but like I said, I had a break at like 13 to
Hmm
16.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
you were probably around that age as well,
Yeah.
when you started getting interested in like fashion and girls and
Yeah.
stuff. And but I was still the same me. So when we were out shopping for clothes, I would like take a glance over to the toy shop.
Yeah.
But the main, if I can pick a point, like the most important point for me as a collector was walking into. Did you have those used comic book shops, used book shops in
Uh,
Belgium?
yeah. I mean, we have like thrift stores and stuff where
Yeah.
you can find it. There's also some like more geek oriented things, but like when I was like 13 or stuff, that was like not on the radar. We actually had like one shop that was selling like horror type toys, like Chucky dolls and like manga type of things. But I was still more into like just playing punk rock and girls and stuff than like venturing into that already. That took a little bit longer.
My parents took me to, because here in Norway we had
Mhm.
these shops dedicated to used books and comics,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
my parents took me to these shops like every week.
Okay.
So I had that growing up, and when I went to high school, there was one of those shops nearby the school. And in high school, I didn't care if people. I mean, no one cared that in high school.
Okay.
I played in a rock band in high school, and like I felt like I was like socially accepted for who I was, and I brought comics to school, and uh, like went to toy shops with my schoolmates.
Yeah.
But one day I went into one of the nearby used bookshop and found um, the first 45 issues of GI Joe comic
Okay.
in English,
Oh
like
yeah.
Marvel print,
hmm
and I was 17,
Yeah.
and I bought them all. And that was my main jump on point as an like adult collector, I guess.
Okay.
Was probably
hmm
like in year 2000.
Yeah.
So that was an important moment for me, and I then began to collect Joes, looking for them actively in thrift shops and such. And especially interesting because the GI Joe comic, we had that in Norway, but
hmm
um, we got on at United States issue 40. think 44.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had like several full years of stories we didn't get to read.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And action figures,
Suddenly,
you didn't know like where did they
yeah,
go to?
yeah.
Yeah.
So suddenly I could read that and pick up on the stories I missed out on.
Okay.
And from there on, I just started collecting toys.
Sweet. So at 17 in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And
Yeah.
this was early 2000s. I got into Marvel Legends right at the beginning of Marvel Legends. They had like this phase where they made Marvel Legends style figures, but they didn't call them Marvel Legends yet.
Yeah. Mhm.
They call them Spider-Man Legends and X-Men Legends and such.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the first wave of proper Marvel Legends, I picked up the entire wave and yeah, was hooked.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, Eddie, he says I need subtitles on his YouTube channel. The last one is in English though, the last video. But I think you can just add subtitles in like the CC button on up top. I don't know if it does it
You
for
think you can
Norwegian.
translate my dialect?
Spider-Man
You know,
classic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man classics. I was there at the beginning too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet. Wow. So you would go out to like those thrift shops and everything and check out things. Was there like the possibility to find this stuff at flea markets, or is that just not a thing over in Norway?
Less so than you had the Froggy Flips over,
Yeah.
right? And I see his videos. Like you can go into someone's garage and just pick out
Yeah.
great stuff. I've never experienced that here in Norway, and I've been like actively searching for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I go into thrift shops and expect nothing. So I'm
Yeah.
never disappointed. But you know, every once in a while I find something.
And like
Uh,
even in the early 2000s, like did you already like meet other people that were doing it, like other collectors?
It was a bit difficult because I didn't know anyone else that collected in Norway, and I
Okay.
got into a very specific GI Joe collectors forum.
Yeah.
JoeCustoms.com. Anyone here from Joe Customs? It's not active anymore, but we painted our Joes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yikes.
and I yeah, and I like actively search for Norway, like the search word Norway and Norwegian to find other collectors, and I found a guy
Yeah.
in Oslo, and we got a yeah. We became good friends and collected together and went to this Joe convention in 2009. And eventually I just started collecting other Norwegian collectors. I guess you can say that.
Trying to start up the
Yeah,
community
yeah.
as it were. Yeah.
Like through would put out sale ads selling toys and just talk to people. And eventually we became a community and started a very nice Facebook page, and yeah, that also led to this Norwegian ToyCon.
Yeah. Sweet. Wow. Yeah, referring back to the garage sales in the UK, it's car boots, but pick clean. Yeah, I did my first car boot last year. We came out empty-handed as well. Oh, even Melvor's in the chat. Hey, buddy. Yeah, they actually with Game Chasers they went over to Retrospiel Messen.
Yeah,
Yeah, gotta say like me and Maddie we enjoyed the hell out of coming to Porsgrunn.
yeah, Postcode.
Porsgrunn.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty like amazing place. We had like ice cream at something that looked like a river. I don't think it was the fjord or anything, but like we enjoyed it. And yeah, Melver, you should come over to Belgium for waffles. I'll buy you some. Definitely. Let's do it. Amongst those collectors you started meeting in these forums and on Facebook and stuff, was there maybe like a collector that was an inspiration to you or like an example collector that you kind of like, oh, dude, this guy has an amazing collection. It's like a dedication to it, like a dedicated room. This is what I want to accomplish in a couple of years, or was it more like bits and pieces from everyone, or focuses, or the way they collected that influenced you?
Yeah, I probably haven't been inspired like to build my own collection like someone else's. But like you said, I've probably picked up bits and pieces, and
Hmm.
like almost all of my like all my friends inspire me because they have either a specific focus. You met Jostein, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
I really admire his focus. He goes all out on the He-Mans. And
It's
you
pretty
mentioned
epic. Yeah.
Anders. Anders, I really respect for. He has a nose for picking up the highest end figures. He
Yeah.
just sees a rare figure, he goes for it. And I really respect like my fellow Norwegian collectors uh, for several reasons.
Mhm.
My own collection is probably a bit different than most of my friends because I have my shop,
Yeah, yeah.
and
When did you start your shop, actually?
I began selling in like 10 years ago, 2013. I
Hmm.
began starting selling actively, going to conventions and stuff.
Hmm.
But my shop opened in 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I look at the entire stock in my shop as my collection.
Yeah.
Until it sells, it's my stuff.
I gotta say, like when we visited your shop, it was like it looked like walking into a collection. Like the two things that really stood out was just the massive amount of um, passion applied to like the display cases, like the one actual gray skull that got that was like the winning promo out of that newspaper article,
Mm,
or like a magazine thing, and just having that, we saw like those mini play sets by Turtles just set up perfectly. It's not just all crammed into one thing. And then the other thing that stood out was this wall of just 90s action figures on card, you know. Those things were like, what did we just walk into? So yeah, gotta add it to, like, it definitely gives off the feel of like a collector selling off bits, in a way like that. But I've heard a lot of toy store collectors going like, well, now that I have the store, this is kind of like my collection, and it kind of comes and goes. Is it hard to let go of stuff
yeah,
in
it's
that way?
really hard, especially when you have like high-end items.
Hmm.
You will probably not find one for a few years,
Yeah.
and you kind of have to sell it because
Hmm.
it costs to have a shop. You have to
Yeah.
kind of keep buying toys, and you have the rent and stuff. So I've sold a few items which you know I'm happy I sold them because they go to my friends here in Norway, or I send them to other countries, and that's a great thing as well. But I kind of wanted them myself as well. And I
Yeah.
know I'll feel that way when I sell. Um, I sold a Technodrome the other day. Gorgeous example,
Yeah.
complete, like white gray. Oh,
Yeah.
now I don't have now I
Now
don't
you,
have a complete Technodrome.
you kind of always just want to have one to show and one for sale. Is that
Yes,
it?
right. That's right.
Oh, King's Cave. He has an amazing collection as well. Like what high end collectibles do you have up for sale right now? Yeah,
Uh,
I think it's more like which ones doesn't he have? Like a
no,
Technodrome?
yeah, I don't. I wouldn't consider him. My friend Joe in Leicester, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that's he has high end items.
Uh-huh.
I only have toys.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think I've ever walked into a shop where they have multiple Motu giants, and then you have like three Bionatopses and two Tyrannosauruses when we walked in, and then like we were there for like 20 minutes. You were keeping the shop closed because we were filming. And then once it opened up, like two Bionatopses were like sold within the first 5 minutes. It was
Mm,
crazy, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the most high end stuff I have are probably I have a few photon figures. I have a
Oh
few
yeah.
really rare GI Joes. I have some SWAT cats. Yeah, I yeah, I have some really nice Norwegian carded GI Joes. Those are probably the uh, not necessarily the most expensive, but
Mhm.
in terms of rarity, Norwegian carded Joes are, yeah, rare.
Those are the ones that have the card art where they remove the weapons, like
Mm,
they remove the weapons off of the card art, right?
right.
Or did I
Yeah.
get that wrong?
Norway, Germany, Sweden, and Finland had a separate, had a like a shared
Yeah,
distribution where uh, they redid the artwork entirely and removed the weapons.
yeah.
And I have a few of those in my shop.
Does that mean like accessory wise they would come without weapons, or would the weapons still be in there, or would there be like a mixture of things, or
Almost all of them came with their proper weapons.
Mhm.
But in the 90s, they had, and that goes for Belgium and UK and stuff as well.
Mhm.
But here in Europe, we had a few Joes released with spring-loaded missiles
Yeah.
instead of
Mhm.
their regular weapons.
Yeah, okay.
And I have
Yeah,
a few of those as well in my shop.
that's cool. Um, so 10 years ago you started reselling. What would you say was your focus to collecting, maybe your rules, your process of collecting before reselling and after reselling?
Before reselling, I was heavily into the classics.
Hmm.
I started when they released the first subscription. I went all in on the
Motu
Motu
classics.
classics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I had a great time with that. Those figures are spectacular. Probably the best He-Man figures like of all time.
Yeah.
Debatable, but they still hold up really well, and that was probably what like tipped the scales in favor of selling because they take up a lot of space, and you have to keep the shippers and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
and when you have like 200 Motu Classics in a tiny apartment with with a girlfriend who, yeah,
Might not be all too into little muscled men.
yeah. So I made the decision of started selling the Motu Classics, and in the process made a lot of friends, and in the process like found that I liked selling toys.
Okay. Because of like the communication, because of the amicable nature of like, oh, this is what I've been looking for so long. You have it. You want to sell it to me.
Yeah,
Is it making
definitely.
friends and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
making friends and making people happy for finding a toy.
Yeah.
So that was like I get a kick every time I sell a toy and the customer is happy, and especially if the customer is a friend of mine and we can talk about it, and I know where that toy is going, and yeah,
Yeah. The circle of toy life.
I guess so.
Sometimes it comes back, sometimes it just stays where it is. um, so yeah, like what's your focus now, like being well, kind of a collector reseller? Like are there certain rules like I want to buy it at this percentage of the market value, or I'm specifically looking for this, I'm not gonna take everything in? Is there anything like that?
Well, I have to think a bit different when I buy for the shop. I have
Mhm.
to think of a margin. I have to make back some of the money. But for my own collection, there's no rules. I have paid a lot of money for small items. I bought an entire complete GI Joe vehicle, a huge GI Joe vehicle, just for one piece to
Okay.
put on my already existing vehicle.
Okay.
So I have no rules when it comes to my personal collection, and I don't really care about the price if there's something I like. I like having really good examples of the toy, and yeah, try to pick up stuff from my childhood and interesting pieces. Uh, I like that the toy is talking to me. I like a good story around the toy. When I'm on vacation, my sister lives in Leicester, and I visit
Okay.
Joe's shop
Yeah.
every now and then, and
Mhm.
I always pick up some souvenirs from my own collection from
Yeah.
him. I just look around and have, yeah. Let me show something.
Yeah. Sweet.
I'm not all that into Star Wars, right?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I saw this one at Joe's Leicester Vintage Toy Shop, and I just
Oh,
had to have
dude.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That looks minty, right?
Yeah, it's open but unused, and that's just the way I like it. I like having the ability to take the toy out and look at it, but I like having like pristine examples of the toy. So this one had to come with me home from Joe's, and I have it here at my office.
Mm, sweet. Um, going just a little bit back to where you said like in the beginning the focus was on the Motu classics, but you sold off a lot of them. Is there any that you kept or that you are still nostalgic for?
Sadly, I sold all of them. I have since bought back a few, uh, and I say sadly because some of them are definitely the best versions of that character, like Scareglow, classic Scareglow, top 10 action figure of all time.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, and the same goes for like Ram Man. They did Ram Man a service of having him massive.
Yeah.
So some of those classics I like I can pick them up anytime I want, and I have a few of them in the shop, but I didn't keep any of them.
Okay. Yeah.
I even had the Bronze King Grayskull.
Really?
That's like
Okay.
when you open his box, he has yeah, he cries out for the power of
Yeah.
Grayskull, and there's lightning and stuff, and
It's like a
he's all
sound bite.
bronze.
Yeah, yeah. I think I saw that over at Anders's collection.
Yeah, he
Could
has
that
it. I
be?
think.
Yeah.
I think Jostein also has it now.
Okay. Yeah. See, it all always goes around. You're somebody that bought something off of you in 2014. Kim.
Kim is one of my best friends, and he
Okay.
was in my wedding. And
Oh, really?
one of those guys I just bonded with when selling. So yeah,
Yeah.
Kim is
Awesome.
a great guy, and he has a nice collection as well.
Yeah. Okay.
He's good at displaying stuff, lighting stuff.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Um, now, you've also ventured into like doing a little bit of like content creation or social media extension of like your collecting. Um, when did that happen? When did you go out, or was it already just you profiling yourself as a collector on Facebook and then venturing into Instagram and YouTube and stuff? Or
No one asked for videos from my shop.
no one? Okay. They just didn't know it yet. They wanted
Yeah, no,
it.
I mean, I have fun with it myself, and
Mhm.
I laugh at my own jokes, and I have like 10 people come and say I also laughed at the same joke. So it's a yeah, it's not a big thing. But I've always tried to like talk about collecting and talk about toys. It goes back to like um 2009.
Yeah.
I made an entire exhibit for a Norwegian toy museum,
Okay.
like a
Mhm.
national museum for toys, and I made them a display for them with my GI Joe collection. And they had a theme called "Children in War," children and war, and I suggested I should bring my toys, and they liked the idea, and so I brought my friend Runar, who I mentioned I found on one of these forums, and we made that exhibition together. There's a few grainy videos of this out somewhere. I'll probably add them up to my YouTube channel one day.
Yeah.
It was a really nice display with the GI Joes, and yeah, I like showing up, showing my stuff, and like talking about the toys. I like the history of the toys and presenting them to people who may not know about it.
Hmm. And in
So
the same way, you kind of like lock something of how the shop looked at the time or what you had in your collection at that time, and then you can look back to it years later. Um,
yeah, I regret not filming sooner.
mhm.
I probably should have started filming for YouTube content a bit sooner. Like already when I opened the shop, the process of adding shelves and stuff. But you know, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So are there any like new toys in there as well at your shop, or do you collect newer toys?
I collect newer toys. I pick up the occasional hot toys,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and I bought a few of these Mondo figures,
Hmm.
both He-Man and X-Men, the 12-inch guys. Do you have them?
No, but Mondo seems like it sounds expensive. Is
Yeah,
it expensive?
yeah. So um,
I did see
Origins Eternia,
the
right?
new sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Origins Eternia released,
Hmm.
and the
Yeah.
same week Mondo released their Battle Cat.
I know, yeah.
And a lot
Um,
of collectors were debating which one should I get.
yeah. Wasn't like the Battlecat 500 and
Yeah,
Eternia 700 or something
yeah,
like that?
something
Yeah.
like that. So that was an expensive week.
Did you see the new Scareglow they just announced?
Yeah,
Was that Moto or is it like Mondo? Is that the same company?
yeah, it's Mondo. It's the same
Yeah.
company.
Uh-huh.
But that's one. That one is kind of different from the ones they're doing.
Yeah.
The 12-inch guys.
This is like what is it, 11 inches, but
And it's bigger. It's 14, I think.
14? Okay.
So it should be
And
like
there's like a
35 centimeters.
skeletal thing inside that glows.
It looks great.
Looks freaking cool. I want it. But yeah, it's new. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. Um, do you
My
remember like the first episode you did on your YouTube channel? Like, because totally
uh,
Taylor, he's doing his first episode. Um,
uh, yeah, it was. You kind of have to, and I know this because I did a podcast in
okay.
on toys
Yeah.
here in Norway, and when we did like 200 and something episodes,
Hmm.
uh, and when we listened to our first shows, we cringed so hard we couldn't listen to it all through. So just accept that it should, you know, accept that you will probably evolve and you will probably be better,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just keep on doing it.
Yeah. And don't like try to enjoy it because you're doing something for the first time, which is
Yeah.
always, cool. Uh, I, I, like right now, I'm kind of like it's a drag making videos. But Stephen Carr, he actually also has a channel on toys and stuff, so go and check it out. He recently started. Um, but yeah, like cherish those first things and like see what you learn, see what you can learn, see what you can do to make it even more fun for yourself. Because in the end, what you want to do is create something you'd want to watch yourself and that you can see yourself doing for a long time. Apparently the new Monoscare is 15 inches. Okay, $260. Mm, I don't know about that.
It's expensive, man. It's
It's
expensive.
expensive, but it looks pretty cool.
It will be centerpiece. You can have like that single figure in a shelf.
If they would do a 5.5 version, that would be great indeed. Yes. I think
How much would
like
you pay
some
for?
customizers have already done that though.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
much would you pay for like a regular scaled?
Like by a customizer, um, I don't know what the extra implications are for like putting a skeletal structure inside, but usually I'd pay around 120 to 150 for like somebody making like a custom run of maybe
Mm.
like 40 figures or something like that.
Did
Um,
you get the toxic Crusader dragon?
the Peludo,
Yeah.
yeah, I actually have two. Um, one guy I think in Sweden, Technodromen Toys did one, and then I got the new, what is it called? He's actually up there, so like you can't really see him, but that's the Peludo by Ishmael. He made it. It's more like a vinyl type of toy.
Mm.
So um, yeah, I think it's really good. Actually, really like it. I don't remember what I paid for it, but
Mm.
um, so yeah. Um, how would you because you have the shop RoomSkip. It's in Porsgrunn,
Påsken?
Porsgrunn,
Yeah.
and you only open up on Friday, or is that something I
I
misinterpreted?
I have a real job.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I work at a hospital, and I don't. I probably wouldn't be able to live just out of
Hmm.
Romskip.
Yeah.
Um, Probably, I'm not sure, but I enjoy having open like every other week. So I have like
Okay.
2 or 3 openings each month,
Yeah.
and the result is that my shop is packed when I have open
Uh-huh.
instead of
It's an
having open.
event for all the
Yeah,
collectors.
and
Yeah.
people come from
Uh-huh.
all over, and like yesterday I had open, and people have driven for several hours to get to my shop.
Wow. Yeah.
And I like that. It makes it gives me a certain pressure to deliver. That visiting my shop should be an experience, and I have to like have sales or have new stuff that people have never seen before, and I like that. And people give me good feedback on it. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was totally packed when I was there, but you had
that
the
was special. That was
Norway
like
ToyCon going on as well, obviously. Um, um, but is there, some kind of pressure? Because I think like if I would have like a retro toy shop in Europe, my biggest concern would be having the stock, having the inventory
mm,
that needs to go with it. Is that something that stresses you out, or
yeah,
do you have enough stuff coming in?
that takes up a lot of my time. So when my kids go to bed, I spend my hours shopping for toys
Yeah.
and looking for toys, looking for good deals, and that's the difficult part of having such a shop. You can't just click buy on 5 vintage Optimus Primes.
No, indeed.
And I sold 2 yesterday, so now I have to go out and buy 2 more.
Yeah. So you actively look for certain bits that are like nostalgic, like an Optimus G1.
Yeah, certain bits I have to always have in my shop, like the main turtles, Optimus Prime, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, He-Man, and Battle Cat. So certain items I always have to fill up, but usually the inventory, the stock of my shop is a bit random. The stuff that just comes to me will be what I'm selling.
Yeah. Okay.
And I like that having that rotation that you never really know what's. For instance, I got in I got a lot of Captain Power figures the other day.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a very popular line, but I like them. And the I just had an opportunity to buy an entire collection. I
Yes.
went for it. So that's filling one of my cabinets right now.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. Um, do you like actively look for dead stock, or is that just when it comes up on the radar, or because like if you want to keep those racks stacked,
Mm,
like you want multiples of
yeah.
things, right?
So condition is important for me. I don't need more bulk. I don't
Yes.
really need more junk to fill like the cheap boxes in my shop. So I look for good condition.
Hmm.
I look for like unopened stuff. I got a really nice lot of mask stuff in boxes the other day. So stuff like that.
Mask,
Yeah,
like
like a rhino in box and
what?
unused stinger and unused piranha. And yeah, it was a great lot.
Okay, that's awesome. Um, yeah. What else do you like run into? Like, whilst doing a shop like this, like, like if you were to compare it to other shops you visited, because you have been around in Europe, like to other shops as well.
I believe my profile is a bit different from other vintage toy shops because I go actively out and say, bring your kids, take your
Okay.
kids to
Hmm.
Homeship, and I try to make it kid friendly, and that has worked a bit for me because people use it as a every now and then I have open on Sundays, and people use it to just get out on a Sunday and bring their kids to Homeship
Yeah.
and experience old toys. And of course, it's mainly people my age who has kids.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I have a few kids who bring their parents, and that's a great thing. They say, I want to go to Homeship now and buy old He-Mans.
Yeah. That's maybe something you didn't expect to happen. The
No,
kids bringing in the
no,
okay.
I probably didn't. I know my target
Yeah.
audience are
Hmm.
guys like us,
Yeah.
like 40, 30, 40 something.
Yeah.
But I have tried to make it kid friendly, like having expensive stuff behind the glass doors and having like these cases where people can look with their fingers.
Yeah.
And,
Hmm.
and always I try to have a few like contests around the shop.
Hmm.
Kids can come and guess something or find weird stuff and come tell me and have a small prize.
Maybe with the book being like turned into a series on TV, it might be even more kids bringing their
Probably,
parents.
yeah.
Yeah. Or kids being like, Dad, don't you still have some He-Mans? Like bring 'em down from the attic.
Yeah.
You get an influx of things that way. Um, so what else is like coming up for you now? Like what are the next big things that are happening for the shop, for maybe the convention?
Yeah. Uh, we're still like building this year's convention. That's our main focus right now. Looking for great guests.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So if anyone knows, anyone has a suggestion to who we can bring to the Norwegian ToyCon, that yeah, give us a call. For my own part, I'm just trying to pick up a few pieces for my own collection. There's a few items I still want, and spreading the word on toys.
Yeah. What are like those final bits you want? Is there maybe like a holy grail to you that you're still out looking for?
Well, I would like to have one of the big three GI Joe playsets because they weren't sold in Norway.
Oh, okay.
Defiant, Flag, and Terrordrome,
Yeah.
and they're difficult to import to Norway because of shipping costs.
They're huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
those are on my radar, and I have a few smaller figures I'm looking for. Like I have 2 out of 3 Transformers motivators.
Okay.
Not sure if you know them. Let's see. Mm, yeah, this guy here.
Check it out. Oh, okay, those.
Yeah,
I actually have that one.
yeah.
What's special about these?
Well, what's special about them is they have a unique play feature where you like put a small guy inside their breast and you press a button and the robot gets a huge head.
Okay.
And in Japan they're called breastformers.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, here's
How,
the other guy.
how am I only learning about this right now?
So I have 2 of these, Flame and Lightspeed, and
Yeah.
I'm
There's
missing the third one whose name is Gripper. And
okay.
they're kind of difficult to get because, or at least if you want them in nice condition, because their tires just crack up and
Oh,
deteriorate.
okay.
So yeah, that's
Wow.
breastformers.
Breast formers. Well, see, like each time you talk to a toy collector, you learn something new. So
and they're
So
not
great.
particularly rare. I can just go out and
Mhm.
buy one whenever I want, but I like to take my time.
Oh,
Um,
Brain Masters in Japan.
yeah, that's probably it. I'm
Yeah,
probably mixing up.
yeah.
Yeah,
It sounded better though. But
yeah.
awesome,
I'm
man.
I'm going to get chewed up by some of my Transformers buddies.
Yeah,
I
but
got
I mean,
something wrong.
don't you think like definitely when owning a shop, like you can't keep track of the names of everything after a while. It just becomes too much. And there's like a berserker for every toy line. And it's like one or it's like spelled in a different way, or like, oh, here's Nighthawk, but yeah, which Nighthawk? Do you mean the one from like, you know?
It's a bit difficult. I try to. I know my GI Joes, and I know my He-Mans
Mhm.
inside and out. I have complete control, at least for the purpose of having a shop. But yeah, gå bra. Ja, takk skal du ha. But like late 90s Turtles, I have
Mhm.
no clue. I have to like.
Oh, yeah.
You saw my Mini Mutants, right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
so difficult to piece together because there are no good databases online,
Yeah,
and
those mhm.
the card backs just don't help you at all.
Like when we came over to the shop, you had those little guys with like the little size and weapons and everything. Like
Yeah, well,
we
I
didn't
was lucky to have bought complete
we
sets,
we
so
we
they were.
didn't even know they came with little tiny
Mm,
weapons at that
mm.
point. We are
But when
like,
you
what?
you buy when you buy a huge lot of mini
Mhm.
mutants and you have
Yeah.
all those small pieces and nowhere to find out which piece goes where.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh, it makes work fun, right?
Yeah, it makes work at least.
All right. Well, Jan, thank you so much for coming over on the channel and talking toys with me. Um, yeah, where can the guys find you if they want to reach out, if they want to check out the video where you show everything you have in the shop? I
Yeah.
think they can reach out to you through Instagram as well to send a message
Yeah,
if they're interested in something.
I have an Instagram account. What's it called? It's called Romskip Toys, I believe.
Yeah,
Could that
yeah.
be correct? So I have a fairly active Facebook page. That's where I put out
Okay,
all the images of my shop.
okay.
Where my Instagram account is usually used for like shorter videos, reels, and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and finally, I have my YouTube account where I try to make good content. So, but I need feedback. I've recently bought a new microphone,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
people have complained. You should get a new microphone. That is done.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah. I checked
so
out the
so
video. I thought it was
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah, so it's actually just in the name of the episode here, like at rumskip8876. If you type that in, you go right to the channel, or just click on it. Go ahead, subscribe, and check out what Giannis is posting in the next couple weeks. You do ship internationally as well, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So people can just look at my pictures and send me a message, and we'll work it out. Yeah,
That's
I
what
know.
you did for yourself.
It's embarrassing.
Sweet, man. Yeah. I also have an Instagram, so if you guys haven't followed me there already, please do. And if you're new to the channel, you can always subscribe for more toy talks and stuff like that. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much, John, for wanting to come on.
You
And
know, it was an honor to be invited. Thank you so much. It was a really good talk.
yeah, I loved it. So yeah, thanks. And I really hope either I get to make it back to Norway maybe next year or something, or if you're ever gonna come over my way or in the countries I'm near, definitely let me know, and we'll try to get together and do a little bit of hunting. All right. So
Yeah,
yeah, thanks
definitely.
everybody for watching. See you later. Bye. End the stream. Yes. There we
Yes.
go.